cheat codes for Primus. Let's do the 7. This song is extremely fun, very straightforward. Some of the riffs share the same pattern, so it'll be easier to lay out these riffs than other songs. But first of all, I like to put it on this bridge pickup because the tapping's a little bit easier. There's a tapping part. And that is a little bit, if I were to go to my neck pickup, it's a little bit weak. So I'll just keep the bridge pickup on the whole song. Gives it a sound. For the first riff, you're doing on the 2 and the 3 here, you start the riff by doing a little double pluck, kind of like a flam on drums. So you're just doing... And then you're hammering on to the 3rd note. So you start on the 2, on the E, and then you hammer to the 3. Then when you go to the next riff, you're adding this, sounds like a major. Let's see. Oh. Damn it. Yep, major. So what I do is I wrap, and I've seen Les do this too. He wraps his thumb around to hit the 3, and then you use the pinky for the 4. 3 on the E, 4 on the G. It's just 2 notes. And when you're plucking it, you kind of do a little claw motion, go underneath the E and the G strings, pluck them out. And then you kind of like, with this part of your hand right here is you're muting it right after. And you kind of stack the muting techniques by like lifting up after you press the note. So kind of just like pressing the note. And then this little slap part is 2 slaps on the E on the 3rd fret and then an open pop on the G. And then the 2 and the 3 follow up. So all together it'd be... For the next riff, they go into 7/8, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's pretty awesome. They've done this with 11 as well, where they go into 11/4 for the song 11. For me as a drummer too, that's what cements them as my favorite band. That's all I need. Just creative little weird stuff like that. But anyways, this part is 2 different patterns, I would say. So you're doing this kind of dissonant, what is that, a diminished little pattern. It's like a diagonal. You're going 3, 4, 5 up the strings. And you start with the low string, E, and then go to the 5 up here, and the waterfall down. So there's your first pattern right there, 3, 5, 4, 3. The second pattern is you start on the A string on the 4, and then go to the D string, 3, 5. So your 2 patterns are pattern A, pattern B, and that's basically it. So you go... And then for the little transition, you go up to the 5 and do the same pattern. Then to the 7. Back to the 3. So when he's doing the actual verses, he kind of does like a toned down little version of it. And the only thing I do, he kind of does muted notes and stuff. But what I do is just skip the... second low note when I'm waterfalling down. So it'd be... I don't know if he does that, but it definitely sounds like he's doing something like that. He might be muting the note instead of not playing it all together. But it gives it some difference between the first version and then second version. So... all those riffs repeat throughout, and then once you get to the tapping part after this, tapping later on in the song is the same waterfall part. It's just up to 9 now. And you're tapping it. So you go. And the second part of your hand is doing a diminished run right here. Or a little diminished chord. I think that's diminished. On 16 D, 17 G. And you hit that 3 times. So you do your first pattern, your waterfall pattern. It's good to rest your hands after you do the waterfall part to like reset it right there when you're doing this. Makes it real quiet, real clear. When you go to the next part, you go up a minor third, so that'd be from the 9 to the 12. And doing that same waterfall part, but this one's a little more complicated. So it's going to go that first waterfall part, and then you're doing 3 notes here, 16, 12, and 14 on the G, and you're tapping it. So tap on the 16, pull off, and then hammer on the 14. It's good to go right after you do your waterfall part to immediately put your hand up to 12, even though you're hitting the 16 as well. So you kind of slap them both down at the same time. That way when you pull off, your finger's already there. Then hammer onto the 14 and do another pattern of the waterfall part. And then you do your 16, 17 triple tap here. So altogether, it's going to do this. And then you go back down to 9 for the other part. Back up to the minor 12, doing it again. You do that like 3 times, I think, because the last time he goes up and does this. Yeah, that was perfect. You're going to do this steady climb from 9 back down to the 3 for this last transition. And you're staying on the 16, 17 up here. You're just changing this waterfall pattern from the 9 to the 7 to the 5 to the 4. And then the last part is your initial one. Which we've already covered. So, for this last waterfall part, you're going to do, there's your 16, 17, start on the 9, 7, 5, 4. I normally do a slide right there after I do this. There you go. That's the song. That's it. That's 7. Go play it.